Hello friend, and welcome to the slowest sim driving channel on YouTube. I'm Grandpa Goes Gaming, and we're at a very wet Suzuka for round 6 of the Wack-E World Tour Season 2. Right now the battle at the top of the league is between Tweetman and JonBoy. Everybody else is just being left behind. If you want to know how the rivalry is going to end in this league, then make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. For now though, let's get racing. The rain is coming down hard here at Suzuka for 21 laps. And it's Tweetman on pole, but he gets bogged down at the start and Chimp Chaser takes an early lead. Chimp Chaser is a gentleman driver. The other drivers are all league drivers. And Grandpa Mobile into second. Nobody saw that coming, but I'm sure it won't be there for very long. If you're new to this league, the cars don't have enough energy in their batteries to get to even halfway, but the drivers are only allowed to make a single pit stop during the race. Even if the weather changes, they're only allowed a single pit stop. So there's going to be a lot of lift and coast, battery saving, and as you can see, Tweetman already on the back of the Grandpa Mobile. JonBoy right at the back of the field. He had a pretty bad qualifying here, and there's places being lost there as the Grandpa Mobile gets absolutely munched in that corner. So Tweetman's going to be trying to chase after Chimp Chaser because Tweetman likes to control the pace of the race, and I think that's one of the things that's very important around here, controlling the pace of the race. But he's got on. Tweetman's outbroke himself, and Unicorn there into second place. So Unicorn now is going to try and chase after Chimp Chaser. Well, lots happening on the first lap, as you fully expect when it's raining heavily. Of course, the drivers have got to be careful not to overdo it with the power. If you have to make a second stop because you've run out of power, then unfortunately you're not going to be scoring points. Chimp Chaser's easing off a little bit, he's not pulling away, so Chimp Chaser starts to go into energy conservation mode, but of course you've got to hold that balance between staying ahead of your competitors and not burning out your battery. Got to pop into pit at some point, put some more double A's in, and Tweetman there just overdoes it. He's going to lose in place as he is. He loses that to Dr. Pepsi briefly. Of course, Tweetman and Dr. Pepsi are teammates driving in the Escuri cars, so you've got to assume they're communicating with one another at the moment and trying to make sure they can get as many points for Tweetman as possible. At the back here, it's just spray, and it's so hard to see as a driver. These cars don't have windscreen wipers, by the way, so if like me you're driving in VR, then you can have a bad day. Dr. Pepsi there pushed a little bit wide by myself. I don't know if that was fair or not. Let me know in the comments if you think that was a fair pass. I'd love to hear your opinion of it. JonBoy, he's been spectacular this season, but here he's struggling in these wet conditions. And one of the reasons that could be is because it's very, very wet, and you could be on intermediate tyres, because of course if weather changes you can't just pit change your tyres. So it might be that he's playing the long game. Unicorn, by the way, has taken the lead from Chimp Chaser. We didn't see it. Unicorn there splashing through the puddles. You've got to assume that they are on the full wet tyres, because those puddles were of no effect to the pace of that car. Chimp Chaser's fallen into the clutches of Tweetman. Tweetman, we've seen, have a couple of offs, a couple of scrappy corners, and I wonder if he is also on the intermediates. We're looking forward to the rain stopping. The pack of JonBoy's up to fourth. This pack falling away quite heavily, so I don't know. I think tyres are going to play a big part in this. Meanwhile, Tweetman, we've missed another pass. Tweetman into second. I'm going to try and stop missing these passes if I can. But so now Unicorn taking a big lead. I wonder if they're going to try and get a couple of seconds advantage and then just work on conserving that power. Of course, you probably saw the flap there closing the back of Tweetman's car and open again. These cars do have DRS, drag reduction system, so that's another way that they can help to accelerate while not using too much of their energy. JonBoy there in the background, he's catching up. I wasn't catching up there. That was Grandpa going straight on at the chicane, which isn't the optimal line there. But as you can see, the spray in this race is just phenomenal. You don't want to be behind anybody. It's very difficult to follow here in these conditions. And Chim Chaser, well, he's going to struggle. I think Tweetman perhaps might be banking on the fact that Unicorn's using too much power, because he's not doing too much to pull up and catch up with that group. I'm falling away at the back because, to be honest, I don't gel with these cars. I like them, they're fun, it's a good challenge, but that doesn't mean that I can actually do it just because I'm having fun. It just means I'm very slow, but I'm enjoying myself while I'm being slow. Chim Chaser not letting Tweetman out of his sight, and why would he? You can save a lot of energy by sitting on somebody's slipstream. Tweetman out wide there, Chim Chaser up the inside. Is he going to go through? No. You do get a lot of standing water at the second Degner, and I think that's what caught Tweetman out. So now Tweetman can save some power in Chim Chaser's slipstream if he wants to. I don't think he wants to. He likes to dictate pace. But right now, he's lacking pace a little bit. The rain, I think, has stopped. No, it hasn't. It's just eased off a little bit. So we might start to see the track coming to the Inters runners. If there are any out there, I'm sure somebody must have started on Inters. Oh yeah, that rain has definitely eased right off. I don't think it's eased off enough to see a drying line come through yet. We might start to see a drying line over the next few laps. And that then is when drivers are really going to be thinking about what's going to happen in the rest of the race, what tyres they're going to want after the stop. We saw in Fuji, which was also a wet race, that it was wet before and after the pit stop phase to varying degrees, so the drivers really had to balance whether they're running full wets or Inters. Tweetman sizing up Chim Chaser. He's going to go for the pass. Use a little bit of extra power perhaps. Don't think he is. No, Tweetman just conserving energy. Of course, he's got a charging JonBoy behind him. There is JonBoy with a penalty. He must have had an issue at the chicane. But perhaps JonBoy's going to have to make an early pit stop for energy because he's using a lot. Also, I've caught back up a little bit, so you can see that I'm using too much energy as well. Or are we just seeing the Inters runners be suddenly much quicker than the full wet runners? I don't know. These sorts of things we don't know. I could put the information on at the bottom. That would clutter the screen, and quite frankly, it's too much information. It's better to just have that mystery there and watch the race unfold as JonBoy desperately looking for that double slipstream so that he can save some energy, and that is purple by 4 seconds. JonBoy's really pushed, and Tweetman's pushed too far. He's seen JonBoy coming, and well, it's frightening him off the road. So Tweetman down to 4th, and now we've got our Tweetman versus JonBoy rivalry back on. The battle for control of this league. Well, that's what we wanted. JonBoy's about to serve his penalty, and I think that's why Tweetman's hanging back. He knows he hasn't got to push too hard now. Well, the leader, Unicorn, might be pulling away, but we're not short of racing action. Lap times tumbling as the track dries. Tweetman using some of the green stuff. Gotta be careful, that's wet. And who is that? That's Unicorn! What happened to Unicorn? Let's get a replay. It's obviously an unforced error because Unicorn's on their own. Have we gone too fast into this final section? Clearly Unicorn on the brakes, running out wide. Oh, and just dropping it. Spinning the car into the barrier. Disaster for Unicorn, who reverses back across the road before anybody shows up. Good, quick thinking, but down into 4th place now. And I meant that 5th, 6th, yeah. Unicorn waited for everybody to come past, and then the game reset them. So, well, what was looking like a good day at the office for Unicorn has now turned into a bit of a disaster. Back to the podium battle, and JonBoy is zeroing in on Chimp Chaser. Of course, it looks like JonBoy's making this look easy, but in order to get back up there with Chimp Chaser, JonBoy's going to have to expend a lot of energy and dicing with the grass there, which could lead to disaster. JonBoy pushing hard. He's got to be saving his energy somewhere. It looks like he's quite slow through there, so that's one of the places he's saving his energy. This is a fast first stint. We're probably going to see JonBoy coming in a lap earlier than when the drivers around him, just to recoup that energy, and then have a slow second stint. Lap times, opportunity to tumble. Right now Tweetman is purple. He's trying to push up to the back of JonBoy's car, and he's really on it, so he must have done his maths and figured out how far he can get his battery. Oh, taking lots of liberties with the curve, hitting a puddle, a very deep puddle, and Tweetman spins himself off into the gravel. Oh, that's disaster for Tweetman's championship, as myself there going up into the last podium position, so we don't expect to see that like ever. Tweetman now has a lot of work to do. Oh, is he flustered? Is he struggling with the conditions? You see, he's off again. Tweetman possibly on the full wets, and now finding there's absolutely no grip out there, and the tyres falling apart. You can see him looking for the wet patches on the track, just trying to keep those tyres intact. But Tweetman's car looks like a real handful right now. Dr. Pepsi there has just got past myself, so Dr. Pepsi up into third place. I wonder if he's got team orders now to go and hunt down JonBoy and slow him down. If JonBoy is not slowing down, oh, it's got a penalty though. That's going to slow him down a little bit. But he's right on the tail of Chimp Chaser. JonBoy looking to take the lead of this race. Is he going to try and do Chimp Chaser into turn one? Well, he's certainly pushing hard. He's the fastest driver on track at the moment, is JonBoy. Can't find a way around there. Chimp Chaser just driving his line, doing his thing. Chimp Chaser now, somebody who's been racing with us for quite a bit, and well, he knows how the other drivers think and their lines, I assume, or he's just really good at defending, one of the two. So Chimp Chaser holding off JonBoy now. This is the 1/3 distance of the race. Now the drivers are really going to have a good idea of the battery usage under race conditions. They'll be looking at when they're going to pit. We're going to probably start seeing pit stops around lap 10. If you're any earlier than lap 10, you're going to struggle in the second stint. If you can make it to, well, lap 11 or even lap 12, you can have a very fast second stint. So there's lots of maths that the drivers are calculating constantly while they're going. Those who are able are using the readouts from the cockpit, and those who aren't are just looking at the energy levels on the MFD. You can't, of course, change the engine mapping like you can with an internal combustion engine car, so the drivers are going to have to do it all themselves. It's all done with that right pedal. And JonBoy going for a slowdown penalty. That's going to give Chimp Chaser some breathing room. Meanwhile, Tweetman's made it back into fourth place, so he's pushing all over again, doing his fastest lap of the race. Tweetman finding lots of confidence, but not finding much racetrack. He's got to be careful. That's penalty central if you're going to start doing that. There are a lot of puddles around this track. You do need to be avoiding those curves to be able to avoid the puddles, but after Tweetman cares. He's just pushing on. There we go, through the wet line. Try to make those tyres last as long as you can, because you can't just change them. If they're cooked, if they're worn out, it doesn't matter. You haven't got a pit stop available. So all the drivers really just taking it gently as they can. It looks like they're all pushing, but they're taking it as gently as they possibly can in an attempt to conserve power, conserve tyres while still racing. But how long is Tweetman going to be able to hold this pace? He's obviously not too worried about the car behind him, that's just me. but he needs to be catching up to Dr. Pepsi so he can get that slipstream. Safe out. Oh, he's taking too much curb. And Tweetman once again off. We're not used to seeing him like this. He looks rattled. He looks like he's got confidence problems. Tweetman just, he's struggling. He's having a bad day. So far, this has massive implications for the championship. This is going to be a big boost of points for JonBoy. Tweetman goes out wide once again on the curve. He's pushing so hard, or has he just got no grip? I think he's got no grip. I think Tweetman's tyres are ruined, destroyed, out of here, and Tweetman down into last place. It goes from bad to worse. What's he going to do? How's he going to go around this? Tweetman's only option now is to have a massive energy saving drive, pit as late as possible to give himself as much speed in the second stint as he possibly can. Otherwise he's going to lose a bag of points to JonBoy. He's not the only one suffering though, because everyone started on some form of wet weather tyres, be it full wets or inters, and the track now is so dry. It's hard to find any kind of wet line to keep those tyres cool, and the tyres are falling apart. But this is lap 10. This is where we can expect the first of the pitters, the ones who've been using more power, to start coming in. What are they going to do? I think they're going to be changing on to slicks. But even if they are on slicks, there's a lot of wet patches out there. There's a lot of puddles still out there. It's going to be tricky. You see that the Grand Mobile looking for a little bit of wet line. That's when you know drivers are really starting to worry about their tyre wear. So are we going to see Chim Chaser come into the pits? Oh, Chim Chaser went straight on. Chim Chaser missed a chicane. I think he managed to hold first place, but no, he didn't. Come on, camera change. Chim Chaser, he's had enough of those tyres. He's going into the pits. He was on the full wets. JonBoy takes the lead. As Chim Chaser shows his hand, Dr. Pepsi comes through as well. We've got anybody else pitting? I'm not sure. I don't know, coming past the pit lane. Unicorn pits as well. Unicorn was on the full wets, so those tyres will be absolutely shredded. So we've got myself currently in third, side by side with Tweetman down to turn 1. It's the battle of who's got the most tyres left. But Tweetman there catching a puddle. I think that'll upset the car a little bit. And the Grand Mobile lives to quite another day. So now we can see the drivers who were saving energy to create a faster second stint. However, let's think about this. Chim Chaser is now going to be the only driver currently on track who's on dry tyres, although Unicorn will be now as well. So we can probably expect some really quick lap times from those two at the back, and this could be a massive undercut that we're going to see. And if that's the case, well, can they negate that 1 lap less energy they're going to have at the end of the race? Tweetman makes the dive. I think he's got this done. Yeah, Tweetman up the inside, back into third place. It's time to start working again, Tweetman. Time to start pushing again with whatever energy you've got left, because JonBoy is scurrying away. But are we going to see JonBoy in the pits this lap? It's inevitable, surely. JonBoy had to use a lot of energy at the start of the race to catch up with Tweetman. It was a long way off to begin with, and surely JonBoy now is going to dive into the pits. He does so. So is Dr. Pepsi going to take the lead? Oh, Dr. Pepsi's overshot at the chicane and been reset as a result. So Dr. Pepsi still manages to hold second, but will he have a decent position after his pit stop? Is that where he's going now, into the pits? Yes, it is. So Tweetman, is he going to take the lead, or is he going to pit? I think Tweetman's going to pass the pits. Myself, they're pitting. I was the only intermediate runner apparently. Tweetman takes the lead of this race. He's going to have loads of energy at the end of the race. Let's take a look at Chim Chaser. What are his times going to be like? This is the first flying lap we've seen with Chim Chaser, who's presumably on the slick tyres. got to assume that those slick tyres are going to be giving him big gains, although JonBoy right behind him is going to be on slicks as well. So Chim Chaser didn't get that much of an advantage at the outlap he had, but yeah, purple by a second at the moment. So Chim Chaser showing that big advantage of being on those slick tyres early. Tweetman perhaps wants an extra lap of slick rubber at the end of the race, but you can see these two catching Tweetman. Almost 2 seconds purple now for Chim Chaser. Tweetman with a penalty up ahead. He's losing so much time here. Is this strategy going to work out for him? JonBoy up alongside Chim Chaser for a moment. He wants that lead. He wants these points. He knows he's got to strike while the iron's hot. Take as many points off Tweetman as possible in this race. And the best way to do that is just to win. Tweetman is losing so much time. He's got to pit. Surely you can see second and third there right behind him. He's going to have his work cut out for him in this last stint. Here we go, Tweetman pits. So where's he going to come out? Chim Chaser goes past. JonBoy goes through. Is JonBoy going to go for the move? If he is, he'll have to go onto the wet line, and that's not good on slicks. Okay, Unicorn's gone through into third, so Unicorn knows a great comeback after being so far behind. Unicorn could still get a podium out of this, despite his earlier troubles. Dr. Pepsi through. And myself through. So Tweetman down into last place. He's got a whole lot of work to do. That's a long stop while his car recharges. Tweetman quite a way back. JonBoy up at the front. This could be a big swing in the championship standings. Chim Chaser can't shake JonBoy. JonBoy looks like he's pushing. Oh, Chim Chaser's gone wide. Chim Chaser's out wide. He's managed to hold it together. Managed to hold JonBoy off. Oh, JonBoy uses a little extra power. Goes round the outside. Makes that stick. That's JonBoy into the lead of the race on lap 14 of 21. Fabulous move by JonBoy. And look behind, we've got Unicorn approaching as well. We know Unicorn's a fast driver. Currently 1.6 seconds purple. Unicorn really pushing. So has Unicorn done the maths correctly? Well, we're going to find out probably around lap 20-21 when we see who starts to really slow down. But for now, Unicorn taking the fight to the leaders. And well, this is a great race to see. It's good to see Unicorn battling with the leaders. And JonBoy there lost out to Chim Chaser and could be about to lose out to Unicorn as well. JonBoy gets in that slipstream, looking for a way around. Now he's defending as well as attacking. Fantastic three-way battle for the lead. Once again, as we saw in the last race, get three cars together at the front and you get fireworks. Well, this is going to be a fascinating last 6 laps. If this goes on, I heard JonBoy there hit a puddle and he uses it to propel himself apparently past Chim Chaser and into the lead of this race. So JonBoy once again leads the way, but Chim Chaser's coming back at him. Chim Chaser have to move up the inside. Trading blows, slowing each other down. That's going to allow the rest of the field to catch back up, but got to be honest, Dr. Pepsi, myself and Tweetman so far back that I don't think there's any catching up with these guys. They've got to hope that people start running out of energy, and they might do, because that happens when they're battling. You know, you can lose track of how much energy you're actually using during the lap because you're so busy looking at where your opponents are. So, well, can't call it. I don't know if it'll be this order or a completely different order. But Chim Chaser is off. Oh, Chim Chaser goes off and hits JonBoy. Chim Chaser in the barrier. Oh, he just went out too wide. Clipped JonBoy as his car shot across the track. And Unicorn says, "Thank you very much. I will take that position from you." Yoink. And Unicorn continues on their merry way. Your new race leader, pretty much from out of nowhere. A little further back, we've got a battle brewing here between myself and Dr. Pepsi. Dr. Pepsi really starting to hassle the back of my car. Oh, apparently stressing me out off the track. That gets Dr. Pepsi very, very close. Are unable to get the car back lined up on the track. Dr. Pepsi shoots through into 4th place. The track really drying out now, but there's some puddles out there. Dr. Pepsi, oh, sideways. What a save from Dr. Pepsi. Held that beautifully, and still purple even after that. So Dr. Pepsi really showing some great car control. But is he currently slowing down myself to help his Ascuri teammate catch up? Because every point is going to count in this championship. And right now, Tweetman's getting the minimum number of points. So he's going to be wanting to clear that Gran Turismo and then possibly team orders with Dr. Pepsi. I'll have to wait and see. Tweetman now closing in on the back of my car. And wow, he's really putting in a hot lap here. Of course, Tweetman with more energy than anybody else because he was the last person to pit. So he can really use it to his advantage. If you look at the minimap, you'll see that Chim Chaser's fallen right off the pack. So perhaps Tweetman sniffs a podium. There's Chim Chaser at the head of the straight. Tweetman looking for a dive up the inside. Here he goes. Well, perhaps the tiniest bit of contact there. It was a little bit ambitious. Oh, but Tweetman found the car unsettled and he's off the track. So he's just not making it work here at Suzuka. I wonder if Tweetman's got somebody else driving in his place and we don't know about it, because this isn't the Tweetman we're used to seeing. Looks like Tweetman's lining up another move. So he'll do the spoon perhaps. Looking around the outside, nothing doing there. Dives to the inside. Can we cut him off? No, in fact. Oh, that's completely off. That's not where you want to be, it's not the racing line. And Tweetman there makes it into 5th, but we've got a grandpa there using extra power. That could come back to bite us in the butt later on. But, you know, everyone here fighting for points. It's not just Tweetman and JonBoy who are fighting for points. Oh, Tweetman sneaks up the inside. And, well, I don't know, was that a fair move? Hit me up in the comments. It wasn't a fair move. Tweetman says that's not a move I'm happy with. Come back through and we'll do it again. Fabulous sportsmanship when points are on the line. Tweetman just trying to warm his tyres up there. As soon as you get onto the wet stuff, the temperature of the slicks just drops catastrophically. Tweetman trying to follow through the S's, jump into the inside. No, just can't find a way through. But at this point, is the Gran Turismo using too much energy? And is this going to seal the deal for 6th place finish for the Grandpa? Well, who knows? Only 3 laps to go, so we'll be finding out very soon. And we'll be finding out who's got enough energy very soon as well, as Dr. Pepsi up ahead, just catching up with Chim Chaser. There's a possibility of a potential podium for Dr. Pepsi if Chim Chaser's overdone it with the energy. You can see on the top right of the screen there. Oh, that's a grandpa off. Tweetman stopping, so Tweetman once again exercising great sportsmanship because he wasn't happy with that manoeuvre that essentially punted off my car. And now he's getting very frustrated. But you know, sometimes certain tracks you can defend really well. If you know where the overtaking places are, you can cut those overtaking places off. And I do like Suzuka. I'm very fond of this track. So, you know, I know the overtaking spots, I know where to defend, and that's why Tweetman's having so much trouble. He's going to dive to the inside now for the chicane, as he finally got it done. The move is done. The deal is sealed, and while we were watching that, Dr. Pepsi also got past Chim Chaser for 3rd place. Oh, now Tweetman needs to hope he can scamper away. Maybe catch Chim Chaser, who appears to be dropping away. Chim Chaser, I think, definitely with some sort of energy issue. Tweetman now about to start lap 20 because he's honing in on Chimp Chaser. By far the fastest lap of the race. Tweetman making that late pit stops, giving him more energy than anybody else, and now he can really use it, really open the car up while everybody else is really trying to save their energy. Chimp Chaser there looking a little sluggish to that corner. Can't help but think that Chimp Chaser is really watching the numbers now and worrying about them. Tweetman pushing hard while others are trying to conserve. Trying to go around the outside, still a little bit damp out there. Gotta be careful, don't want to throw this away. Tweetman needs those points, he needs them badly. Otherwise, JonBoy's going to take a big chunk out of his lead of the league. And, well, he can't find a way through there. Of course, we've already found that the Degna's going to be pretty lethal when it's damp. So, no chances being taken. Dive into the inside. Chimp Chaser goes out wide, getting lots of room. And that is Tweetman through. Chimp Chaser clearly knew it was only a matter of time. But now Tweetman needs to set off after his teammate. Is this where we're going to see some team orders? And see Tweetman gifted with a podium? That wouldn't be very popular, would it? Unicorn going to the chicane to start the final lap. But look, JonBoy is right there with them. Unicorn used a lot of energy to start with. And wow, JonBoy flies past at full throttle. JonBoy shoots into the lead, and look how he's pulling away from Unicorn. JonBoy's done the maths, he knows he can push this lap. Unicorn. Oh, Chimp Chaser has retired the car. Chimp Chaser's run out of energy. It's over for Chimp Chaser. Unlucky. And I think Unicorn could also be on the verge of running out of energy. They're very slow. The car's slowing right down. Unicorn out of energy. Oh, disaster after leading the race. Look at that car bobbling around. Oh, disaster for Unicorn. Dr. Pepsi goes through in second place. Tweetman goes through to take third. Oh, wow. Oh, Tweetman off. Tweetman off in through the Degnas. Is this going to be a place lost? You can hear my car approaching. There it is. Just too far back. It's like another car with energy woes. Let's shoot back to our current race leader, JonBoy, who seems to have no energy woes of his own. He's just got a few corners to go before the end of this race. And he's done a superb job to come back after a difficult start. Through the final chicane for the last time in that Race Asylum liveried car, and it's going to be JonBoy to win at Suzuka. Goodness, what a run he had. Dr. Pepsi isn't slowing down for his teammate. He's going for it, he's going for those points. Dr. Pepsi bringing it home in second. Go on, take the flag, there it is. Tweetman has got company, but I think he's got this covered for third place. Here he comes. Yeah, Tweetman's got all the energy he needs, he's fine. Myself in fourth. Unicorn and Chimp Chaser DNF'd. So it's JonBoy who wins in Suzuka. Well done, JonBoy. Well done to everyone who took part. This was a very tough and technical race. It's a very technical series. But everybody did the job, did it well. Two of the drivers didn't quite make it, but you know, these things happen. And at the end of the day, it was JonBoy who took the honours. Hope you'll come back for more Wack-E World Tour Season 2 and the other racing that we have on this channel as well. And until then, bye bye for now.